Okay, namaste everyone. Welcome everyone. My name is Sangeeta Biagi. I'm a visiting professor, visiting scholar at ISCM. And the topic of today's class is music and healing. So, music and healing is a very broad topic, and I have a few slides to share with you to start looking from the beginning at the meaning of the words that we're using. So what does healing mean, and how is healing in music, and also how is music healing across cultures, and what can you as therapists, aspiring therapists and therapists, how can you relate to music in a way that is also healing to you, so that you can do your work as best as you can. So we have here Vinod and Sae. I'm so happy. Perhaps this video will be seen by other students. So let's begin by asking a question to our participants here. I will not put their videos on a highlight for the privacy of the students, but they're here and you can hear their voices. So how has music been healing in your life, Vinod?
I think I need to ask about that. So, started learning music from a very young age, I think around 7. And earlier it was more about performing, learning, singing, and it was a way of expressing my thoughts and feelings. But I never had an understanding of the therapeutic aspect of music until very late in life. I did have a very transformatory journey when I was diagnosed with cancer in about 2010. And it was only then when I started listening to music more, singing treatment, and I had to um, just listen to music. And it used to communicate with me in some ways that I can't explain. And that's when I started to experience the healing power of music. Um, And later on, when I started reading about few ragas as to why they were helpful, how they help, there was not much literature as such. There were a lot of anecdotal experiences, a lot of gurus who spoke about few ragas being helpful. And that's when I came across few ragas which really helped me not just relax, but they were also like painkillers. Very temporary, but yet in that context, it was really helpful. So it did heal me not just physically, but I think also emotionally, socially also in times of feeling isolated during treatment. It was a good companion to have. So in that sense, I think music has been very healing. Uh, a good companion to have.
Thank you so much. You touched on a lot of different elements that are exactly what we'll cover today, as you know, because music making is allowing us to heal on multiple levels at a different areas in our life, as you said, personally, but then also socially. There's something really special about sound that connects us all. So thank you so much for sharing your story, which is quite intimate. What about you, Sai?
Yes, ma'am. So since childhood, I have been singing. My family is entirely into music since a very long time. So I was very much connected to music, but till my maybe 10th standard, I did not really understand how music was a companion to me. But then during 10th standard, and then COVID happened late. In my 11th standard and 12th standard, COVID happened. And we were all isolated, and music was something that was very close to me. And I thought of taking it as my career during that time. So that time, I understood that even in that isolated space, I was not alone. The music was with me. So yeah, that is what I feel about music and how it has been healing.
Thank you also so much. This is such a beautiful note that music made you realize you're not alone. That's a very high spiritual teaching of music, actually. So, okay, very nice. So I'm going to share some slides, but after I pull the slides up, we'll be doing some warm-up, some physical warm-up where you can just roll the shoulders. Are you in an environment that allows you to move freely? Are you comfortable in your environment? Perfect. Okay. So let's share the slides. And then, so the topic of today is music and healing, as you know. So we will be looking at music medicine and vibrational medicine. What does health and healing mean? Salutogenesis and sound healing. And then we have the 5 vibrational bodies. And then we have how we breathe and how we listen. And the human voice. And music making across cultures. Okay. So these are all really important. Sorry, this one. Okay. Let's begin with this one quote from Dr. Nanda Sir. This is from the book called Saraswati's Pearls. And I would like for you to not just read this, but perhaps even listen and begin to connect with the breath again. And to just relax inside, if that's possible for you at this time, okay? Everything in life is vibration. Health is the state of perfect oneness with the cosmic vibration. Illness is the result of dichotomy. When we are able to retune ourselves to the natural, universal vibrations, health occurs. We can think of health as a certain state of cosmic vibration. When we are in tune with that and we are vibrating with it, we are truly happy and healthy. Every cell in our body vibrates in unison with that divine vibration. And in that state, it is producing cosmic music, even if we cannot hear it. The music is always there, but then we are not always attuned to it. Sometimes the cells go off tune and disharmony occurs. So this one is a very beautiful quote, of course. And I want to stop sharing for just a moment, because I think it is important that we take a moment to reflect on this before we begin a more scientifically rational lecture. I know you know this already. I know probably that's why you're here. And you are at ICM, that you know what Dr. Nanda is talking about. You know that there's a level of sound where you can fully relax. There's a level of sound where our personality dissolves, like salt in the ocean, really. I know. But what happens? What happens to humans? Why do we have so much suffering? Why do we have dis-ease? What do you think happens? Not so much practically. I'm not asking, my uncle, my mom, my sister, my diabetes, my arthritis. No. Before that, why do you think humans suffer so much? Any one of you, you can just take your mic, open your mic and just answer. What do you think is the reason for so much suffering in a person's life?
Satisfied about something?
Hmm?
Not being satisfied about something.
Okay, I'm going to jot down some notes, okay? Not being satisfied, yes. What else? Yes, a lack of satisfaction, which is perhaps connected to not being enough, not having enough, not doing enough, not being good enough, and right? And this is also ingrained in the system, isn't it? with all the system of like, the judgment, that is better than that, you are better than that, you did better than this, and they did better than you, all of that pressure of needing to reach a certain level that is almost unattainable anyway, right? Okay, so that is very good. What else? What else do you think is there? We can take our time. We're not in a huge rush. I would like this lecture to be very experiential for you rather than another. Yeah. So, what else is there? Why do people suffer? Why do we suffer? What happens when we suffer? At the root of it, what is there?
I feel when we're in conflicts, and those conflicts could be related to their environment or also from their own past experiences or something what's going on in their life where they're not able to make choices. When they're at crossroads and they're not able to decide whether I go this way or the other way, and they don't have enough resources to figure out which way is a better way. So maybe limitation of resources, lack of making choices, and confusion or inner conflicts.
Amazing answer. This one is also a really powerful answer. I think choices are key to feeling that you have power in your life, a sense of empowerment from within. I think that's huge. And you'll see, I mean, you have perhaps already had experience, but I know Vinod has been there for a while, but say you'll get your share for sure. But, especially when people are not well, when their health is challenged, that's even more severe of a feeling because when we're not well, we feel that we don't really have choice. And if we don't have access to specific treatments or medicine that can help us improve, that's definitely when we're going to feel quite ill and not at ease. So the disease, the perception of the disease is going to deteriorate and make us feel more ill. So it's kind of a downward spiral, and it's very, very difficult. So from this already, we see that there are internal circumstances and external circumstances that play a huge part in our capacity to feel whole, to feel at ease with ourselves. Okay, so for you as a therapist, that's where music can come truly to the rescue. As you said, Sai, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Not really, not so much.
It's okay, ma'am. I'm used to it.
That's so nice. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay. Yeah, so we have this opportunity, as you said, to not feel alone through music. But sometimes we feel so off, and as you said, Vinod, confused, that even listening to music is not helping. It happens, and it's hard to admit to it as music therapists, but it's true. So that's where we go back to the most powerful music we hear, our heartbeat and our breath. These are the teachings of Nad Yoga, and I'm so happy that Nad Yoga is a bridge truly between music therapy and yoga therapy, because it actually is. So we'll go back to that, because at some point you may find that as a therapist, learning how to go back to your breath and calming your nervous system is what you need to go back to, even before you do then start the practice of singing or music making and so on. So let's go back to the slides. So we're going to look at that. Do you know the origin of the word healing or health? Do you know what that means? Let me see. There. Yeah. No, there. Okay. Do you know what healing or health mean? Well, I'll tell you. Oh, I have a slide for it. So, health is an English word that derives from the Old English help, from which the verb to heal also derives. It also help, as you can see, help, healing, and it means to be whole. And because you feel whole or not disconnected to yourself and to your power, inner power, you are well. Health implies a sense of unity, therefore. Unity with the self and ease that derives from unity. Unity, of course, is the origin of the word unity and yoga, unite to yoke. So vice versa, a lack of cohesiveness may result in a feeling of disease. In Sanskrit, the term, or Samskrita, the term swastha is used. It's compound of swa, one's own self, and astha, a place to be established in the self, feeling at home with the self. And so there are some dimensions of health that we're going to look at, but feeling at home with the self. Now, do you know this Vietnamese monk, Thich Nhat Hanh? Have you ever heard of him? Probably not. He's a very, very, Vinod, you can let Sai know later after the class. You can recommend a couple of links. And he left his body, but he wrote in a very simple, essential way, not simplistic, but essential. Every word was like a drop of water, just clear, self-contained, essential. Beautiful. So you can read his work and it immediately hits home. And he taught that home is the journey, not a destination. Okay, now this is really, I got goosebumps because you, especially as students, run all day long. You have so much information, there's so much that you have to memorize. Also, medicine is not easy. You have to memorize terms, you have to memorize concepts, you have to learn medicine, you have to learn how to behave, you have moral codes, ethical codes, all of these things. There's so much. Plus you're living abroad. I mean, you're in India, but it's abroad because you're in a different state, so it's very easy to get off that journey that is home for you. And you cannot give up because you want to get the degree. Okay, so how do we manage this? How can we manage this? So every day, the first thing that I'm going to tell you is that every day you can have on your phone some alarm. I know it's terrible that it's called an alarm clock. There's no alarm. You shouldn't be alarmed. But, put on your phone 2-3 times a day a note that, with a nice ringer, and write, I love you, or you are well, all is well, in the alarm title. Put something sweet for yourself, or you are already home, you have already arrived, you are already successful, you are well, all is well, something like that. So that throughout the day, when you see this alarm coming up on your phone, this notification, you can take a moment to stop on your tracks, take a deep breath, and feel whole with yourself, no matter what's happening, no matter how your actual diagnosis is, or how your grades are. And I know this sounds very simplistic, but that's how I began. That's how I began to take care of myself and to reclaim the power to feel at ease with myself without the phone, because we're always on our phone. Here's my phone, it's right here, okay? So it's not, I'm not, I'm like you, all right? But the thing is that I said to myself, oh, I'm going to remember throughout the day that I am going to take a breath when I feel stressed. I'm going to remember. The fact is that we don't remember. The fact that is we run all day long and then we get home at night and we're just tired. Okay, so I want you to jot this down as part of your assignment. There's an assignment I'm going to give you, and the first assignment is to create 4 notifications for yourselves. Okay, so write this down. And the 4 notifications, what would you like to write in the message of the notification, do you think? What is the message you would like to tell yourself throughout the day? You can use the same one to start. What would be something that when you see it on the phone, you'd be like, oh, okay. Let's think about it for a moment. We're not in a rush. For example, what I would like to write on mine, well, I already have it, but what I would like to write on mine is, your life matters. It's a small message, but it's true. I mean, without me and my life, my work, my, I know it's ego-based, but still, without me and my life, my work wouldn't happen. And it's work towards the good. So that's important, isn't it? So what about you, Vinod? What would you think you can write on your notification to help you feel whole and at home with yourself?
It's a simple throw, but I think health is wealth is something that comes to mind.
What did you say?
Health is wealth is what comes to mind.
Health is wealth, yes. Yes, but imagine, oh, sure, that is true. But then at the same time, it's like, you're busy, you're stressing out because you have to do a million things, and you see the message and you're like, yeah, I know. It's more like a personal message that you are a loved one to yourself and you're sending a loving message to yourself, right? It's not just, a general message that of course is true. You could change that into your health is your wealth. Take a deep breath now. Something a little bit more personal. Yeah? Something like that. Can we do it? Can you do it? Yeah, good. What about you, Say? What about you?
I would probably write believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Ooh. So you could say, believe in yourself, column, take a deep breath now. I want you to really connect the message with your capacity to stop yourself for a moment and take a breath. And we'll see why that is part of music and healing. It's not just, not part of it. But the point of the notification is that you stop wherever you are, or as soon as you can, and take a deep breath. That's what I want you to implement more than what you're already doing. Okay? All right. So continuing on then. So to feel whole, why is this so difficult? So it's been difficult for millennia. When you look at the most important teachings of many different traditions, whether it's, the Bhagavad Gita, the Gospels, the Quran, other indigenous traditions, you will find a similar teaching, which is that the root of these is feeling alienated from others, feeling alone. Like what you said before, that music made you not feel alone anymore. That is it. That is the heart of your our practice, of our teachings, of our therapy session. That's it. A feeling of connection that we can offer through sound. We can connect to the people we help, and we can help them connect to themselves. Therefore, you must connect to yourselves throughout the day, hence the notifications. It's not going to be possible for you to just keep this teaching at a rational level, or even like a religious, spiritual level. You gotta practice it. We have to practice it. We have to practice it throughout the day and reinforce it as a habit. This is very, very important. Swast, to be established in your own self. Now, to be established in your own self, if you're running around and you're dehydrated and you are out of it and you're comparing it, anyway, you understand where I'm going with it. You're not going to be able to then help another person, really, if we don't do it ourselves, okay? So, salutogenesis, of course, as you know, for sure by now, it's a study and it's a focus on what gives us health, meaning what makes us feel whole, what makes us feel at ease with ourselves. Awareness is the heart of music healing, sound healing, music medicine. Awareness is also at the heart of yoga. So Swami Gitananda Giri used to teach these levels of awareness, and there's awareness of how the body is feeling, how emotions are feeling, the mental vibrations, how unaware we are, and so on. But these teachings you can find in a lot of different traditions. And of course, music is a bridge, is a wonderful bridge among all of these layers. We'll look at the 5 bodies that we take from traditional yoga, but what's important is that awareness is the capacity to receive as much information as possible from our internal and our external environments. The problem with awareness is that our mind is very busy and distracted all the time. And we know this. I mean, Maharishi Patanjali told us, Christ told us, all great sages told us, the rishis. We know our mind is busy, and it's preoccupied. So rather than asking ourselves, why is my mind so busy? Why? Because as we noted before, there are a lot of different moving parts. The culture of origin, the family of origin, what's happening in the politics, what's happening in my health, what's happening with my family. I mean, we cannot understand why. But we can understand what to do about it. How can we use sound to quiet the mind? Okay? So the 5 bodies, this is the 5 vibrational bodies. So when we talk about sound healing, music healing, and all of that, we look at first all of the planes of vibration, not just the vibrations we can hear as sound or as music. That's only one part of the 5 vibrational bodies. Let's begin with the higher, most refined vibrational body, which is in yoga, traditional yoga, called Anandmaya Kosha or Anandamaya Kosha. Kosha as in sheath, as in sphere of vibration, energy sphere, energy field. The quantum physicists will call it an energy field. So Anandamaya kosha is not perceivable by our senses. So as music therapists, we become aware that the highest level that we are tapping into is a level of vibration that we and our patients are not able to perceive through the senses. And you, as musicians, and especially as musicians who are born and live in India, understand what I'm talking about perfectly well. Whether it's because you have felt it or because you have heard it, but because in the culture of Bharat, it's a common understanding that sound is sacred, all of it. It's clear. When you come to Europe, you need to explain it a little bit better, because if you say Anandamaya Kosha and then you say this is the vibration of spirit, people immediately talk about one specific religion, and then people who are atheists, they start to get all defensive. So it's much more difficult, okay? But you know that there's a level of sound and sound healing that is not perceivable through the senses. Now, this level of sound and healing is the level where oneness is intact. All music derives from the vibration of this realm of Anandam. You could call it the vibration of the quantum field, if you are dealing with people who are not spiritual or religious, whatever, I mean, sometimes in a secular setting of a hospital, you may not be able to talk about Anandamaya Kosha. But you must know as a therapist that what the type of work you're doing, the type of music you're making, the type of encounters you're having, the experiences you're having, the level of your health, all of that ultimately is part of something that is purnam, that is perfect, that is unbroken, that is always well, that is always perfect. And you, as a therapist, are of that nature. You are whole, even if you are not healthy as in the sense of medicine, if you have a disease or if you have an issue or whatever it is, that's a lower level. We are in the level of the Manomaya, the Pranamaya, and the Annamaya koshas. But beyond that, you are already whole. You are already perfect. If you forget this, the work will completely exhaust you. It will exhaust you. If you only tap into the Manomaya Kosha, which we'll see in a moment, Pranamaya Kosha, Annamaya Kosha, if you stay at the mental, emotional, physical level, the work will exhaust you. The reason for that is that that's too much based on your personal experience. And in the personal experience, you find meaning, but you can also feel alienated, which is, as we saw in a few moments ago, the reason why people feel not at ease and they develop disease. Okay, so in the Anandamaya Kosha, where all vibration is so high, we could think of the Anandamaya Kosha as all galaxies in the cosmos, all of the galaxies. And we can think of the Annamaya Kosha as our physical planet Earth. Even if the planet Earth is being polluted, it's losing water, it's being dehydrated and destroyed, when you look at all of the galaxies, you only see perfection of expansion and retraction. You don't see the little planet Earth suffering. So in the same way, our lives and our bodies and our experiences are just like that. We live in a cosmic vibration that is like all of the galaxies. And then there's us on planet Earth with our stories. They both matter. Galaxies without stars, without solar systems and all of that would not exist. So it's not like our life is not important. It's actually a huge part of the equation, but it's part of the equation. It's not the center of everything, okay? From the level of Ananda Maya Kosha, of that vibration, we begin to receive specific musical systems. So maybe it's Hindustani music, Carnatic music, maybe it's Drupad, maybe it's Gregorian chanting. There are amazing wisdom traditions of music from around the world. And they share specific qualities, which we'll talk about in a few slides. So you will find yourselves more or less attracted by specific systems. Now, in these specific systems, you are still in the process of reception. So when you have found a system that helps you recharge, you can plug into it and use it to recharge yourselves. But what we need to do, and we'll again look at it in a few slides, is that you'll need to do some active listening. So you'll need to do some active listening of these types of sounds so you can take the time to recharge. When you know how to listen deeply and you find the music that recharges you, you only need 10-20 minutes to recharge. And those 10-20 minutes of recharge are as useful as a 3-hour nap. Okay, but you'll need to do the active listening that we'll practice in a few moments so you know how to listen deeply. Okay, so in the Ananda Maya Kosha, we have the general vibration that sustains life, prana, chi, energy, the subatomic energy that sustains life. We need to keep it moving in ourselves. We cannot stagnate. Okay, so we need to stay active and then find the tradition that is the tradition that works for us. For example, it can vary also. You may listen to certain sounds that are not part of your culture. That's why now there's so much dissemination of music that is healing, sound healing with gongs and chimes, and you have a room there, in fact. You have a room full of instruments at ISCM. So as long as those sounds are played by someone whose intention is to merge with oneness, the sounds will be healing. If the person who is playing the instruments or who is singing is not connected to the Vijnana Maya Kosha or the Ananda Maya Kosha levels of vibration, the music will be pleasant but may not be healing. It may be entertaining, it may be pleasurable, it may allow you to relax for a few minutes, but if you're not healing while you're performing the music, if you're not feeling whole as you're performing the music, then the music will not be healing for the patient. So it cannot just be a performance of your ego. Am I making myself clear? Is it making sense so far? Now we tap into those last three, and they're all part of the same. If we talk about unity, we're also talking about the unity of all of these. But they are more familiar to us. The Manomaya Kosha is the level of the mind. I am a music therapist. I know how to sing a ragam. I am going to choose this ragam because this ragam is supposed to bring uplifting. I am going to do this at this time, at this hour. Me, my life, my work, my time, blah, 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 blah. Right away, you feel how that's like way different than before. It is as important as the other ones, but most of us start here. And as I told you before, if you don't, and we'll practice this together, but if you don't remember about these two, this is going to be exhausting after a while, because it doesn't begin with you. The power of music to heal does not begin with you. You are a vehicle for it. And the mind, as you can see, why do these sages particularly look at 5 different bodies, and the mind happens to be in the middle of the 5? Why? It's because the mind is it's called, sometimes also called a type of a bindu, or a channel. The mind is the channel. The mind is the channel from the higher vibrations to the lower vibrations. The higher vibrations are not perceivable by the senses. The lower vibrations are perceivable by the senses. And so you, as a therapist, through your mind, can channel the higher vibrations into a type of music that you want to administer as healing, right? So, and then of course, pranamaya kosha is the energy, so the quality of the type of music you want to play. Is it uplifting? Is it relaxing? Is it sorrowful, to help the person express their sorrow? Is it calming? Is it good for sleep? Is it good for activating virya? The type of energy, the type of breath, the type of emotion that it will cause. So what kind of movement of the blood will it stimulate? Emotion means the movement of the fluids in the body. And then Annamaya Kosha is the physical. So what kind of instrument? Is it the voice? What is the actual practical instrument? Is it the voice? Is it a gong? Is it a didgeridoo like sarang? Is it a guitar? Is it, a veena? So you can see all of these layers, right, that are there in you. When it comes to you, however, these two need to be there for you. You need to remember. This is another thing you need to remember, apart from the notifications, that you are perfect the way you already are right now. You are perfect. You are a good student, you are a good daughter, you are a good son, you're a good brother. You are just fine the way you are. Yes, there's a window to improve, for sure, but there's nothing awful and imperfect and punishable about you. Okay, now this is big, all right? It's the psychology of vibration. We get into the psychology of vibration, okay? So okay, 1 second. Any questions about this? Does this make sense to you? And does it happen to you that you forget these higher levels of sound when you practice or when you go into the ward or anything like that? What is your experience with that? Does it make sense? You can speak for a moment so I can pause. Tell me, what happens? What happens? How do you forget that there's something greater? What happens? You get too busy? Yeah, Vinod, what happens?
I think at times we do forget connecting with our own selves because we are focusing on the client or the patient and gets too intellectual in terms of documenting, looking up their case record, trying to figure out what is the treatment protocol. So it becomes very cognitive at times. And then the Annamaya kosha that you're talking about stays at a very physical level or the mental level, Manomaya. And we are there in the first three. And rarely we graduate to the fourth or the fifth. Um, Also because of the physical limitations at times in the hospital ward. But I think, as you pointed out, Swastika providers give that feel to move and transcend to the fourth and the fifth because of the kind of space that it is, because it's also not very crowded, they're not very, it's not like a busy place like the hospital wards. So I'm wondering if the environment also plays a role to help the therapist graduate to the fourth and the fifth place.
Yeah,
Just my thoughts.
that's a very good point. Actually, the fourth and the fifth are always there. So remember in the quote by Dr. Nanda that we use at the beginning, he says that cosmic vibration is always there. Remember? I'll share the slides with you anyway, but it's always there. But we're not attuned with it. That's what he says in that quote. So it's not so much about graduating upwards. It's about remembering that they're already there. And that you are who you are, and you are putting your life in service of health, in service of helping, help, health. Remember, same root of the word, help, health, same root. You are serving. You deserve to remember that those two higher realms of vibration are already in you. And they are a source of energy for you, like water when you're thirsty. I know this is a bit of a different type of lecture because it's not so much about 2,000 informations about what to do and how to do. But when we talk about healing, it's inevitable that we are talking about this because you are not going to be able to stay healthy otherwise. You're not going to be able to do it. You can push through it, but it's not the same. Okay, so what happens then? You just practice step by step. It's not like all of a sudden you're in the ward, it's busy, the person is screaming, the other one is yelling, and then you're running late, and then you have class and you haven't really studied. And I mean, I get it, right? So you're there, it's like, I don't know how to do. Then you take a moment. That's where the notifications outside of work are helpful, because then you're slowly are going to get into the habit of feeling the stress and lack of ease, and you're going to stop and even just put a hand on the patient's shoulder or the knee or whatever it's appropriate, right? And you just are going to take a deep breath. One breath is not going to make you late, is not going to, it's 10 seconds. And in those 10 seconds, you're going to reset your priorities. And the priority is that you are a channel of these higher vibrations to come through you. That's why you are in the school. That's why you came here in the first place. You could have chosen a lot of other different schools. But the fact that the director is the son of a Maharishi is because you are attracted to a spiritual level of music therapy. Otherwise, you would have gone somewhere where people didn't even talk about spiritual health. Does it make sense? I mean, it's not by chance that you're here. So that means that you are, at some level or other, aware that you are a channel for these vibrations to go to the patient through you, and that they can be healing for them. But it's difficult. I get it. That's why notifications. That's why the notifications. You're going to need to remind yourself. You need to remind yourself every day, this is also something else you can write in some of the notifications. I am a channel. I am a vehicle. I am a vehicle for the breath to heal. I am a vehicle for Nad to come through. Whatever you want to say, remember. You have to remember and trust it. And here's something else that is going to happen. You're going to have to be a little bit weird in that sense. What do I mean by that? While everybody else is running around and rushing, because you have to do this, you have to do this, run here, run there, run here. And depending on their energy and their upbringing and a lot of other things, they may be better than you. There's a possibility, right? That there's someone who's faster than you. They get all the reports in time and they get all of the better grades. And oh my God, it's a lost battle. Forget about it. When you compete at that level, the healing of music may happen and may not happen. But when you connect as a channel, everyone is the same. Because it's not about the person, it's about the channel. It's about the healing that comes through you. That's very reassuring also in terms of this peer pressure thing that happens in any school, anyone, any school, even in the ashrams. So forget it, So does it make sense? So you need to be willing to be a little bit weird. And what I need by that is that you're going to need to trust that you are a channel. You need to have faith in yourself. And you said something really interesting, before. You said, what did you say about your message? That you are capable or believe in yourself, right? Did you say that? Here we are. That's it, isn't it? You need to believe. You need to have shraddha, faith, that you are in the right place at the right time, doing the right job for that healing vibration to go through you. Then, of course, you'll need to study, you'll need to practice, you need to go to the ward, you need to take the vitals. You do, but not at the expense of why you're there in the first place. Not at the expense of the higher realms of awareness. It's all about awareness. It's not about graduation. If you're good at the Manomaya, you'll be accessing the Vijnana. No, they're already there. Okay, does it make sense? Okay, good. This is really important. So then how we breathe, do you know how we breathe? Vinoda, no, you know, because you and I have worked together before on this. But what about you, do you know about the diaphragm? And you can say no if you don't, don't worry, because I need to know how to, more or less, 50-50, 50-50, okay. Yes. So we breathe through the diaphragm. It's a large muscle that separates the interior cavity from the abdominal cavity from the chest cavity. And the lungs, the heart, you can see the heart here, but the lungs, the heart, the thymus gland, a lot of other things are happening here. So we inhale through the nostrils or inhale through the lips, through the mouth, but we don't breathe from here. We inhale because the diaphragm lowers when we inhale and we suck the air in and then we breathe out. So the respiratory system is really, really important for us, because the reason why inspiration is called like this, or inhalation, is that to inspire is also connected to something that is spiritual, or spiritual inspiration. It's a Latin verb, inspirare, because spiro means spirit, as in spirituality, as well as breath. So you will find also, for example, in German, do you know how they say The verb to breathe in German is Atman, like the Sanskrit. Isn't that great? So you will find in a lot of different traditions that the breath is spiritual. So the first step in remembering that you are a channel is the breath. Is the breath. So if you're able to, once you've checked everything that you need to check in the ward, once you've done anything you needed to do, and you make sure that you crossed all the, dots and everything, then take a deep breath. I'm going to repeat these for the entire 2 hours we're going to be together. That's it. That's all you need. That is sound healing already. You taking a deep breath in is sound healing already. Okay, so you're going to take a deep breath, and then you're going to learn how to listen. Even before you produce your first note. Okay, so the ear, of course, the outer ear, it's mechanical input that then becomes electric in the cochlea, and it's, understood as music in the inner ear and in the lobes that are related to the sound perception. So we're going to do our first practice. I'm going to share with you a practice that is very dear to me, and that no matter where I go, no matter what I do, no matter if I'm traveling, teaching, having a sound healing practice, no matter what, I always go back to. It truly is your best friend. So we're going to do some warm-ups, and then I'm going to lead you through a practice that it's very simple. I'm going to ask you to inhale and exhale through your nostrils. And I'm going to ask you, as you inhale and as you exhale, we're going to do a quick body scan. It's based on the Marmanastanam Kriya by Swami Gitananda, but the Marmanastanam Kriya is very lengthy, and it's practiced at the end of Hatha Yoga and all of that. So you will not be able to do that in the ward. You will not have enough time. So I want to go through it quickly with you so that you have a model on how to do it when you are with another person and you don't have a lot of time. Then we're going to listen. As you continue breathing, I'm going to invite you to continue breathing, and we're going to listen to the sounds inside of the body, outside of the body, and we are going to explore the relationship between breathing and listening in a relaxed state. That is your safe space in the ward. That is your safe space. Nobody can get in there. No noise, no rush, no stress, no time constraint, nothing. When you have that protective sphere of breathing and listening, you can do your work in 3 seconds. You're going to be so efficient that one sound is going to make a difference. But if you're rushing, you can play a whole ragam and feel depleted at the end. So it depends very much. It's a very important, okay? So let's begin. Let me see also what is the time. Good. Okay. So we're going to begin. I'm going to move the chair back so you can see me a little better. Okay. So we're going to begin by, I'm going to move this also. I'm going to begin by shaking our head and make the sound. Very nice. Again. Jatis are great. So you can shake your hands. We're going to look at all of the things that we want to remove from our aura, just around us, all the memories, anything that is like stressing us out. So moving around as if you were cleaning spider webs from your psyche. So you want to go and catch everything. In the meantime, you're moving the body, so you're starting to feel a little bit more free. Nice. And then, yeah, catch. There's more. I can see it. Inhale, catch everything through the nostrils. And up. Release. Good. Again, now moving around the head, all the thoughts, the dreams, anticipation, stresses, all the worries, all the missing mom, missing home, all of the things we talked about. Catch it, catch it, catch it. Inhale. Release it from your mind. And one more. Anywhere you like. Remember, under the armpits, under your knees, wherever you feel like you're holding density, you can go ahead and catch it and release it. Ah, very nice. Good job. All right, we're going to roll our shoulders slowly. Inhaling as you lift, exhaling as you lower. Go at your own pace. Inhaling as you lift, exhaling as you lower. So I'm going to stop sharing, but I'm going to put my video as a main video. So, 1 second, sorry. Metti video in evidenza, one moment. 1 second, sorry. And there, so, perfect. All right, so rolling the shoulders. Now, when you feel density in the body, it may result as a feeling of numbness, or maybe you feel, that the body is tense. Do your best to stay relaxed and just roll and stretch. Very nice. Then one shoulder up and one down. And then rolling one shoulder in the other. And then forward in the opposite direction. So if you don't have time to do this every day, at least every once in a while before going to bed or when you wake up in the morning, those are very useful. Even between classes, if you have the time, even when you're sitting at the computer, you can just roll every once in a while, okay? We're going to bring our right ear towards our right shoulder and relax your lips. Here, relax the lips and breathe. And then inhale, come up. And as you exhale, you can go in the opposite side. Inhale and come up. We're going to bring our chin forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. And then roll the chin. Make sure that you are relaxing at the jaw. So the lips are gently open. Shake your head again. Good. And now you can finally roll your head, but just go slowly, please, gently, mindfully. Very nice. Come back to the center. We're going to do these movements with our lips, like as if you were yawning. And then massage right here. And then relax. And then lips. Very nice. There's also something else you probably have heard of before called tapping. Do you know about tapping? So tapping is a practice that really helps you almost like getting a bath, an energy bath. So if you feel like you're stressed out or tired, or sometimes, you know, it happens when you work in the ward that you come and you feel like there's kind of a layer on you that you can't really shake. So tapping begins, you can tap from the top of the head. And then we're going to do this pretty quickly, but you can stay as long as you like in any of the parts. Then, you know, you can come to the forehead, tapping all around, tap down the temples, and then the area in the back where the brain stem is. And then traveling around, tap around the jaw. Again, leave your lips a little bit parted. Gently tap the cheeks, the eyes gently, lips, tapping down the throat and the neck, the chest. Deep breaths, tapping the right shoulder and the left. Breathe, breathe. Tapping one arm, the hand, and coming back, then tapping the armpit, the breasts, the chests, and the other side. As I said, we're zooming through it a bit because of time, but you can stay a little bit more, especially if you're feeling tense. And then we're going to tap the tummy. In the tummy, you can go clockwise also. Lower back, middle back, lower back. Always with the breath. Buttocks, thighs. Inner thigh, outer thigh. Feet. Very nice. And now imagine that you have something beautiful, like, I don't know, a wonderful Ayurvedic oil on your body. Yeah? And you just want to gently and lovingly rinse yourself. You're just rinsing from tiredness and expectations and stressors, just for a few minutes. But you don't do it with disgust. You just do it with appreciation. Just let it go. Good. So one more time, one last time, catching everything from all around you. Inhaling and letting it go. All right. How's it going so far? Good. Do you know about the importance of hydration, right? You have water with you almost all the time. I love my students. Yeah. So with water, we chew the water, right? You know about that too? We chew the water. We don't just gulp it down. It's better if you take and then you swallow. So hydration, of course, has to do with the quantity of water, but particularly with how much the body can retain the water. And if you mix it with saliva, it will retain it more. Okay, so chewing the water is really, really good. All right, let's continue on. We're going to now move into the breath. To warm up the spine so that we can then keep it aligned. I'm going to move to the diagonal here. We're going to inhale and open up. And then exhale and curving and stretching like this. Okay? Got it? We're going to use a 4x4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Breathe out to begin. I'm going to breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more breathing. Breathe out. Marvelous. Come back up. So you can keep your eyes gently closed or soft. We're going to continue this breathing process and include a level of deep listening in it. Okay? So you're going to exhale to begin. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. In. Out. Good. Continue breathing. You can also slow down the breath a little bit if you prefer. We're going to begin to relax the feet, including the toes, the ball, the arch, the heel. Relax the calves, the ankles, the calves, and the knee. Do your best to keep your focus on the areas and through the mind, send an invitation to relax to the different body parts. Relax from the knees to the hips. Relax the lower back, the area of the perineum, the private parts, the lower abdomen. Traveling up the muscles of the abdomen, the internal organs are relaxed. If you notice any irritation, any distraction, any tension, relax your mind. Go back to the breath. Keep the breath gentle and steady. Relax the lower back, the middle back. Traveling up the area of the diaphragm. See if you can perceive the diaphragm moving up and down, contracting, expanding. We're going to breathe through the sound of the siren here, just outside my window. Try not to get triggered by it. Traveling up the middle back, relaxing the area just behind the heart, where where the shoulder blades come together. Relax the sides of the thoracic area. Relax the area of the armpits. And in the front, relax your chest muscles, intercostal muscles. Relax your shoulders down and back. Relax the area of the collarbones. Become aware of the movement of the lungs expanding and contracting. You may become more aware now of the sound of the heartbeat. Notice the relationship between the heart beating and the breath cycle. Relax your hands with the fingers, each finger, palm of the hand, the back of the hand, the wrists, from the wrist to the elbow, from the elbow to the shoulders. Relax your throat, your tongue, the neck muscles, the cheeks, the jaw muscle, the lips. The cheeks, the nostrils, the eye muscles relaxed. Stay with the breath. Relax your ears, the hairline, the scalp. The forehead, the brows. And bring your inner awareness at the level of the third eye. Keep your concentration gently here. We're going to explore now the relationship between deep breathing and deep listening a little bit more. So as you keep your breath steady and gentle, we're going to again admire the relationship between the breath and the heartbeat. You may hear the beating of the heart, or you may feel it in your chest. Take a moment without rushing to feel it. This is the ultimate sound healing. Music healing. This is it. The breath and the heart together. These are the sounds that accompany us and that truly mark any single state we're in. Let's connect again to this source of music, the heart, the breath, through the power of the mind. Gentle manas focusing, connecting mind, heart, and breath. If you feel you're tensing or thoughts come up or you feel impatient or anxious or anything like that, that's part of the process. Just do your best to bring the mind back to the breath and the heartbeat. Once you have established a level of listening deep enough to be comfortable around the heartbeat and the breath, you may be able to extend your listening outside of you, perhaps to the sound of your environment. Try not to grab sounds, just allow sounds to emerge in your consciousness, in your awareness. And just listen without losing the perception of your own internal sounds. And then expand your capacity to listen as far as you can to the more distant sounds. And slowly come back to the sounds of the room and to the sound of your breath and of your heart. And then you can bring your hands together and rub them together, create some heat. And you can place the palm of the hands over your eyes. Open your eyes in this dark, velvety space. And stretch your eyes up and down, right and left. Blink a few times and then slowly remove the hands gently. Come back. Very nice. So, do you have something to write with? And I wanted to confirm with you that we have a few minutes left, right? This class was supposed to be 2 hours. Then we talked about 90 minutes and then 2 hours again. So do you have enough time? Do you have to go somewhere? Are you good? Good? Good. We can take another maybe 15 minutes or... Yeah? Okay.
4:30 have to go.
You have to go?
No, 15 minutes after 15 minutes.
Okay. Okay. So I want to ask you this question because this practice that now took us a few minutes, right? Of course, but when you have when you practice it again and again, you will find that you can access this level of listening. There we go. Quite fast. Okay, so while at first it's going to be difficult to get into this realm of like relaxation and listening, for example, in the ward right away, the more you practice it, the easier it is to access really fast, which could be really helpful in your profession. Okay, So these are the journaling prompts. So I would like to take maybe 5 minutes. I'll time it, okay? I will take 5 minutes to answer these questions. How did you feel while breathing and listening? What did you notice? Did you feel nervous? Were you able to relax? Anything like that. Does it make sense? Okay, so 5 minutes, and I'm gonna mute myself and then we can share a little bit. We Are you good? You finish? Maybe one few seconds to finish your sentence. Perfect. So what came up for you, Vinod? You have a mic on, so I'm gonna ask you to start sharing a little bit. What happened?
No, initially I was very conscious about the sounds around what was happening inside me. And I found your voice to be very soothing. Um, and there were moments when I think I really dozed off.
Nice.
Only to catch myself that, okay, I need to wake up again. So it was really relaxing. I also lost sense of time and space. It just felt like I lost all my inhibitions and very grounded in the present, in the here and now. Um, and I would have loved it if it continued for longer. There were time constraints, but I feel it just ended too soon. And wanted to be in that zone for longer. It felt like relaxing after a very long time in a true sense. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much. What I think I may do is to maybe carve out just this part of the practice and create a short YouTube video so you can just practice it. You can just have it as part practice. I mean, I'll share the whole entire class with you, with Janita ma'am, of course, but maybe I'll just extract the practice so you can just quickly have it online on YouTube. Yeah, that sounds good. What about you, Say?
Yes, ma'am. So, whatever you spoke about, connecting to the higher levels of energies, I could feel the flow of energy in myself. Like it was very refreshing, much needed after a long day that we had. Um, Also very relaxing at the same time. As he said, your voice was very much relaxing. Like that was the most relaxing part, I feel. Also, the feeling of being with myself, that was really good for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy that you wrote this down because this is something that is true. The voice is there and it's helpful and it's relaxing, but you can also learn how to guide yourselves in something like this. Okay, so of course it's very difficult to do it when you're very busy and stressed out. That's why it's nice to practice outside of the stressful moments, outside of the triggers is when we practice, so that hopefully in time we'll be able to access this level of relaxation when we actually need it. It does work, but it does take practice. It's not something that, you're gonna just do it, So please practice. The concept of the notification, I repeat again, it's really, really important. That's going to get you into the habit of realizing you have the power to feel relaxed at will, because otherwise we just don't. Okay, so we're going to continue on and okay, look at the human voice. This one we're going to skip for now. But so what does make, so one question for you before we go on. Why do you think I chose to invite you to focus on listening and breathing as part of a lecture on sound healing and music and healing? Why do you think I chose that of all the things I could have chosen? What is the connection between this, what we just did, and how you feel, and music and healing?
Yeah, those are like the foundations of our work. One is to listen and also a breath, which helps us to anchor ourselves when we are doing the work that we do. And listening is also much of the part of therapeutic work that we do, is to attentively listen to our clients. So I think that's very much the crux of the work that we do.
Yes. So would you like to add anything to that? That's good. So, across cultures, when you look at music healing or sound healing or music medicine across cultures, you will find that there are some similarities. Okay, so all music is sacred. So, this connection of the Anandamaya Kosha, whether one is calling it heaven or someone is calling it Anandamaya Kosha or someone is calling it cosmic sound, vibrations, and so on, you will find that at the heart of musical systems that are studied and performed for healing, there's this awareness that sound is divine. Okay, it's not something that we use and so on. Okay, so you will find it across cultures everywhere. So again, this is important because as you practice, as you go with the patients and all of that, you'll need to also remember this. As we said at the beginning of the lecture, without this, it's all about just the nitty-gritty, and you're going to get exhausted soon because you're dealing with a lot of suffering in people, and it's not going to be enough to have mental strength. You'll need to also be recharged. Okay, so no matter what you're studying, Gregorian chant, gospel music, swaras, you name it, they're all rooted in something greater. Okay, so you cannot lose it in yourself, otherwise you're out of sync. Okay? So then we also have the power of the human voice to invoke the divine, of course, in Gregorian chant, the prayers, in the chanting of of all traditions, there's this power of the human voice, but the human voice is completely connected to the breath. The voice is breath made audible. Our voice is our breath made audible. And our voice is therefore our prana made audible. And prana is all that is. It's a sacred energy that sustains everything. It's called pneuma in Latin. It sounds even like prana. It sounds like it even, pneuma prana. It's connected to divinity. Prana is connected to the divinity, and pneuma is also connected to religion, to religious teachings. Okay, so you may want to use your voice, or you may want to use a different instrument, but this practice of breathing consciously helps you attune to that divine origin of music. The breath helps you to do that. Okay? And you will find that in a lot of different traditions. Then, of course, the context. This is where it is more difficult for you, because it's one thing to be in the middle of the jungle as a shaman. There's no noise, there are no beeping machines, there's no yelling, there's just, nature and you and your instrument. Of course, it may seem easier, but the context plays a huge role, as Vinod, you were mentioning before. However, if you're able to create even a tiny little bit of space, that space of relaxation and deep listening that we created, that is your sacred space in the midst of the craziest of chaos. And a lot of humans have demonstrated that that's possible through the power of a focused mind. And the mind can be focused by the breath. So we go back again to the breath. So you'll just need to practice, and your intention is also important. That's where, if you go into your work and your intention is to, I want to help this person, and I want to go there and do everything I need to do for my work. Okay, that's fine, but it's up to the Manomaya Kosha, the intention. But if part of your intention is, okay, I'm going to be hydrated, I'm going to make sure that I eat some good stuff that gives me energy. So I'm going to, make sure I drink water. I'm going to cut on the sugars. Obviously there's a whole thing that needs to be done as musicians. But the intention of how you're going, if you're going I am going as a therapist, as a student, but I'm also going as a divine vehicle. That's going to give you a different layer. Now, what are some of the challenges of music healing or music medicine is the cultural specificity. So something that is healing in your culture may not be healing in a different culture. And we were even talking subcultures. So a ragam that is really dear to you because in your town, in your city, it was used to do this and this. Then you go into a different culture, which is the culture of your patient, who may be not speaking the same language as you speak, and you have no effects. So that's where, of course, cultural competence is absolutely important. Understanding the cultural competence. However, if your sound healing session is preceded by a moment of breathing with the patient, if you can help the patient breathe, listen to their heartbeat, or if you could even a little bit learn how to say in their language, relax your feet, relax your legs, relax your tummy, relax your chest. This is something that you can learn how to say in their language and help them connect the relaxation with the breath. Then the effect of your intervention will be amplified. Then if you just go in and play something and then they don't understand and they're agitated. So the cultural specificity can be helped, the challenge of a cultural specificity can be not fully overcome, but it can be helped by allowing the person to relax, helping them to relax. The reason why I asked you earlier why you think I did the breathing and the relaxation together, the breathing and the listening together, is that when you think about it, ultimately all sound healing interventions help people relax. Whether it's a joyful song, whether it's like a one note tuning bowl, whether it's a ragam that you sing, no matter what, a sound healing intervention will make the person at the end feel more relaxed. And this is something here I wrote for you to finish our class. Music has the capacity to bring people together. But how do people come together? They can only connect with each other when they're relaxed. When we are stressed out, we don't connect with other people because we're not connecting with ourselves. It's very interesting to notice. Pay attention also in your daily life. So of course, then we know music can, people dance together, emote together, sing together. You said, Vinod, before that you felt that music helped you socially because it made you feel perhaps more relaxed, isn't it? And therefore, when one is relaxed, one can be anywhere. In cultures where indigenous music is played, even in its modern developments, when disease is experienced by members of the community, music allows the individual to express sadness, fear, and love or loss, and provides support. Music gives power to those who feel powerless to create social bonds. We talked about power at the beginning also. So music is not going to be able to give a person power if they don't have it. If they don't have the power of choice, music is not necessarily going to give them the power of choice, but it can change their attitude. It can help with the sense of powerlessness. It can help with the sense of hope. It does help. Regain a sense of hope. Then the person will need to have a support system, of course. Music cannot give a support system if they don't have it, but it can help them feel a sense of ease. And when we feel at ease with ourselves, different ideas come to mind. When we're hopeless, we have no choice. But when we feel we have hope, we can feel like there are more options. We have more capacity to come up with ideas and solutions. And hope is key to relaxation. If we have no sense of hope in getting better or having meaning, the 3 laws of the sense of coherence, you've studied it before, right? Right? You need hope to have the sense of coherence. That life is understandable, manageable, and meaningful, you need to have hope. If you have no hope, the sense of coherence doesn't really sustain itself. And relaxation is key to healing. This is a teaching that Swamiji and Dr. Nanda always repeat again and again. Healing can only happen in relaxation. Because when we are in the rest and digest, parasympathetic nervous system activation, that's when we heal. That's physiology, right? So music, and you as a music therapist need to access relaxation at ease. So start with the notification, then I'll send you this practice, and of course you'll have your own practices. Out of that state of relaxation, you sing, you play your instrument. Otherwise, you're just adding more stress to what you're doing. Okay? And then healing is key to transformation, and transformation or change is the essence of life. Of course, we know this, but this is really important. So there are some selected references, and here there's some things on how to stay in touch. And Janita, Professor Janita can also give you my email, so we can stay in touch by email. Is everything clear? Was this helpful to you? So one thing that you can do as you continue your studies on music medicine and all of that is the question on relaxation. I think that is the thing you can take with you. As you study different forms of music, as you observe what other colleagues are doing, as you look at this, look at the patient. Are they relaxed? Is my intervention able to relax them? Even when you excite them with the guitar and the singing, and after the intervention, are they relaxed? That is the goal. It can be an active relaxation. It doesn't mean that the person has to sleep, but you'll see that they're more relaxed. So it has to begin with you, with us all the time, okay? Do you have any questions? It's not easy, right? It's not easy. We wish that it was easy. Relaxation is very difficult. So this is my wish for you, also a wish for the new year. I will be in touch. I will share the video and it will be shared with you. I'll share the practice as said and share the slides as well. And for any question, you'll know how to find me. All the best. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the work.
Thank you, ma'am.
The work you do is difficult, so thank you for doing it, and just take care of yourselves. Otherwise, without you, the work is not there, okay? Believe it or not, you are more important than the work. Okay. All the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.